I am agnostic and I don't believe or not believe in a God.
I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ, commonly known as Mormon. We believe in a God, Jesus Christ, and Holy Spirit, as well as the Bible and the Book of Mormon, which we believe is another testament of Jesus Christ.
Jay Harrington, Christian.
I don't really have much of a belief in really any sort of religion. I'm not really one or the other.
I'm Seth Margolis, a sophomore at Coppell High School, and I'm Jewish.
I'm called Meta John.
I grew up in a Christian home. That affects me every day. That way there's accountability with my family. Whenever I'm making choices or being tempted by something, my parents are always there to back me up on it.
All of my immediate family is Mormon. I was born into religion, so it's been a part of my life since I was born. So I think everyone really motivates me to be a better person and live in the church.
Throughout my whole life, being a Christian is one of the things I pride myself most on. So I'm definitely gonna do it my whole life and try to help other people to have the same look on it that I do.
Almost none of my friends are Mormon, which is good, I guess. I get to spread the gospel to other people, but sometimes people don't share the same values as I do.
I tend to be more careful about what I say around them because, I don't want them to judge me based on their beliefs.
I don't choose my friends based off religion. I choose it off of their morals and how they act outside of school, which I guess is influenced by religion.
My parents feel that I should have the freedom to believe what I want to believe, and society has sort of fallen away from religion.
For the most part, most of the prejudice I've received has been sarcastic, which is, it's funny, it's kind of annoying. Like the recent Broadway musical, The Book of Mormon. It isn't entirely factual, which kind of bothers me because people get the wrong idea of what Mormonism really is, but there's some things that we really can't control.
I don't think my family, like my immediate family, like my grandma and my aunt, would support me if I converted to a different religion that are different than them. Like, although they're not very religious, they know what they believe, and even certain things that I bring up that are like controversial, they still like get angry with me about it, or they bring it up from time to time like in a sarcastic tone. So I don't think I'd feel comfortable around them like carrying a Book of Mormon around or something. So it depends. I think my mom would support me regardless.
I feel that is their decision, their beliefs, and I should not judge them for that.
I have to say that my religion is probably the biggest part of my life. Sundays we go to church for 3 hours, and there's youth groups activities on Wednesdays. And for high school age children, there's scripture study every morning for an hour before school.
It impacts me every day as I make decisions, whether they're small decisions or whether they're more important decisions, but just how I treat people, and like someone might take advantage of someone and try to manipulate them to get something they want back, instead based on really to do the nicer thing and put their best interests at heart instead of mine.
The basis of the Mormon religion is the family, so I'm pretty sure that my family has probably played the biggest impact on my life concerning religion and my beliefs.
My beliefs don't really have an impact on my decisions. It's not like I'm trying to please a higher power.
In the life of Pi, he thought that all religions are true. He took what he knew about each of the religions and made them his foundation to his religions.
I would say that my religion does have an impact on the decisions I make, but not more than any other religion would have on another person's decisions, because religion is basically a book of morals.
We can speak about Christianity, Jewish religion, Muslims, and perhaps Buddhism. These can be the four main religions we can meet today in the States. First of all, let's start with Buddhism. Buddhism, more than a religion, is closer to be a philosophy, a way of thinking and to develop the self. and it can be very interesting because it brings very close to contemplation, but somehow is just more oriented, is more self-oriented, is not really going very much to the transcendence of God, is not really point out to the transcendence of God, is more a discipline, a philosophy for the self to know better himself, to be somehow independent from the external environment, to acquire a peace in the indifference. Islam is a very strong religion, is acquiring a lot of adepts nowadays, and this is guided by the teachings of very much oriented to God, Allah, so it has the search for transcendence, but it is according to the doctrines of Muhammad. It has some relationship with Christianity in the sense that they appreciate Jesus Christ as a prophet, and also they have a certain respect and admiration for the Virgin Mary. But they don't recognize Jesus Christ as God. God is only one, is Allah, and is up there in heaven. Then let's go to Judaism. Judaism is very close to Christianity, and indeed is the religion in which Christianity is rooted, because Jesus Christ was a Jew, and the Jewish religion is all based on the experience that the people of Israel had through that God they called Yahweh. And this God was not a God far away from them, but he intervened in their life. He opened the Red Sea for them when they were escaping from the slavery from Egypt. And so one of the practices that they have is the Passover.
I was raised in the biblical tradition, but I went for many years having pretty much rejected that and played in rock and roll bands for many years. And if you had asked me at that time what my religion was, I would have told you it was rock and roll. But then I felt like there was something missing from my life. There was this emptiness. And I was interested in meditation, but didn't really know anything about it. So I began reading up on meditation. I began studying all the major world religions, and even some which are less well known. And I think that there was some good in them all that I was able to learn and appreciate. But when I studied the teachings of the Buddha, that was the religion that made the light bulb come on for me. And I don't say it's, the path for everybody, but it was the right way for me. It just felt right.
These religions obtained tolerance, peace, and unity by establishing rules within each religion. It states the limitations of judging differences and attempting to be polite and respectful to others' religion. But with the peace and unity, there's violence and misunderstanding. And the ways religion accomplished that is just by human nature of judgment.
I think there are a multitude of unhelpful ways of referring to religion in a crisis like this. Using religion as a source of revenge or a way of releasing that fear and anger into making an enemy of someone. And I think that's fundamentally unhelpful.
My mom's side of my family is actually Catholic, and my dad's side is Jewish. So, I mean, I get a taste of both, in which I think helps my own ethics and being more open-minded. I don't think you can single people out because of their religion, because people are people.
Well, actually, whoever serves for the people, for the country, the one we live, shouldn't be any politics against the religion or religion against the politics, because these two branches completely separate. We cannot put together. If we put together, will be a little bit different. Since they are separate, we don't have any problem with it.
The United States might not have the same exact fallouts that the Romans had, but what led to their fallout was economic decay, political instability, and military mistakes and issues.
I've changed religiously since 9/11. I would say a lot. I'm not sure how much of it is specifically due to 9/11 because I was, a junior in high school, maybe sophomore in high school at that time, and so obviously a lot of the change just has to do with like emotional maturity and things like that. But I think what you could specifically attribute to 9/11 and myself would probably be the level to which I've realized that culture is different from religion, and maybe the need to think deeply about those connections. In other words, I think beforehand I was very comfortable with religion and culture being more or less the same thing, and with just kind of the folksy Southern, good old Baptist way being kind of a way of life that I assumed was common for everyone. And I think afterwards, especially, I was encouraged to think of Christianity more broadly as a set of beliefs that has a multitude of expressions, some that are maybe more helpful than others, because I saw the way in which 9/11 was, in a lot of ways, motivated by people observing that close mixing of culture and belief. I think that what I've seen is people polarizing. In other words, I think there have been a lot of people who retreated into a cultural religion in the wake of 9/11 out of things like fear and sadly out of anger, that religion became a force for anger in America, of retreating into, say, fundamentalist beliefs and things like that, of if you can do this in the name of your God, look what we can do in the name of our God, sort of thing. And then I think the other extreme was a lot of doubt and frustration, and the eternal human question of what kind of God could let us live in a world where this could happen. And so then you get another extreme that became maybe more jaded toward religion because they saw what it had essentially done for them in the world. And I think the people in the middle, I think you have a large segment of society for whom they simply had their foundations kind of shaken a little bit, and so they're left kind of in an emotionally insecure place with their. At the same time, I do think that religion in general is a remarkable source of comfort for people. I think it is a way of taking the burdens that 9/11 or any life crisis puts on us and setting it on bigger shoulders than our own.
Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Hinduism all share the same ultimate commands to be good to others, help those less fortunate, and let love influence the way you go about your life.
I feel like the morals should be the same, but the religions themselves, I honestly don't even think that we should have.
Yeah, that's a very tough question. Nobody able to answer that because religion belongs to the Creator, God, the one you, me, every one of us create us. Nobody can fight against the Creator. American, British, Muslims, or anybody you name, that is completely is not right. Somebody say American against the religion for 1,000 years has been, this war was there because of the religion. Nobody has the right to fight against the religion, any religion, because God is the one choose each time, each prophet, and send a book for his creation to worship him. If somebody sends something to worship him, how we are going to fight against him?
One of the more remarkable things in the way that we do education and the way that we live our lives is that for the vast majority of human beings, not only in the history of planet Earth, but even in the current history of planet Earth, we're deeply religious people. Even the people without specifically religious beliefs are working within a system of religious belief, even if they're going against it. In other words, I think the statistics will give you at least 9 out of 10 people having some sort of religious belief, and yet we intentionally, because of our sensitivities, don't educate people on those very religions that have remarkable implications for our political beliefs, for our educational philosophies, for the ways that we're going to live our lives and the lifestyle choices that we make. It's remarkable that we don't do a better job of informing objectively about those religions when they touch our lives so deeply for almost everyone.
All the religion is religion of God, all the creation you see is created, one God created. Everybody should be friend. Nobody should be afraid of any other person, and we should love. When we love, there is no hatred left. There is no against each other left. Everything will be peaceful.